No, he just moved. You know, he just relocated now. Hey.
He got the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, he had to relocate.
Who'd you get it from? Who'd you get it from? The Corso?
Look. Password is King Corso.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. Come on, man. You see the Goodfellas is back. The Goodfellas is back. It's been a while. You know who I be, man. And to my right, you've been used to him the last every day consistently for like, I don't even know how many months. Are we live?
Big Flea. Never the little one.
Never. Well, sometimes.
Never.
Below that gentleman who's very, rambunctious.
Nasty.
Yeah. AllBall suckers. Yeah. What? Jab step.
Here we go.
Yeah, we in the building.
Your man's playing. That's Brawny's court. And to the left of AllBall, Dime Dropper from the west side.
We got him, y'all.
Dom is in the building.
Big Dom in the building, y'all.
Always great to do these previews before the season, fellas. I'm excited. East Coast first.
Good to see you, Dom Dropper. How you feeling, baby? What's going on over there in the West Coast?
Into a dome opening up. Daughters in the playoffs, so things are going pretty nice. I've been coaching a lot. I have so many teams now. It's great, but yeah, man, you know how it goes. When the season comes on, we're working all the time. So
I love it. Dom, before we start, Dom, I got a question real quick, OG. If you're patenting your coaching style behind somebody, who is that coach right now?
Pat Riley, for sure.
J. Redick, the new Pat Riley.
Did you see he said, we're not going to try to get into the West Coast too much. We'll do a West Coast preview for them, but he was saying that he wants the Lakers to shoot 53s a game. There couldn't be more opposite of me.
I saw that, and I was like, I got to hear him verbally say that. I didn't hear him verbally say it.
Hey, Dom, real quick. All right, he jumped over. I was going to ask before we get started, he coaches, the youth, and I just wanted to see, if, he's coming back. Dom, you can hear me?
Yeah, it's lagging for me. I don't know why the picture, but it's okay.
But just real quick before we get started, man, you're doing great things. You coaching, you helping out the youth. Do you see a kid right now that's probably going to be in the NBA from where you're coaching?
Probably not, but I don't want to, lower the ceiling on any of my players. But NBA is like, you can usually tell around high school or this age, but I think a lot of them have a chance to potentially play at higher levels, and that's the best I can do for them.
Nice. That's great. Because, I'm hearing some people who said, they could see people at 5-6 years old and know they're going to make it to the NBA. So I just want to, But yeah, let's go, y'all.
Well, let's get into this Eastern
Some
Conference.
people have that foresight. Some people have that.
And some people don't. And some people just don't. They shall remain anonymous. Oh, whoa.
Stop the presses.
Look at these niggas. Look, they're in unison.
Look at the hate.
Darlene,
look
how you
Fabian,
have these niggas acting. They're in unison.
Fabian, I'm being honest. Fabian, that's a little hate. That was crazy. I'll do that dolo, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Crazy.
Yo.
That was crazy.
First of all, you never said stop the presses ever. I got that from Jerome from Martin.
Yo.
I rewatched all the videos.
Big shout out. Darlene is in the building.
Big shout
Good evening, Miss Darlene Bryan. Always got to show love. Big shout out in the building.
Making me blush. Look. Thank you, Darlene. Dom's in the building too, Darlene. You ain't got to say hi to him. He's already here. He don't, he's not offended. Big Eastern Conference preview for Sportsmen. We're going to start off with the Cooper Flag Sweepstakes. Who's ranking number one? We got them all ranked. Dom Dropper, I'm going to refer to your professional wisdom. How do we get this started? Who do we have ranked number one? Let's get this over with.
Number one in the East out here? Yeah, the worst team. I got this year, the worst team in the NBA for me is going to be the Brooklyn Nets. They've gone complete reset. You guys probably have a better lens of them being in New York City, But they're what I got as the worst team in the East. Lost Mikal Bridges. Their best players like Cam Thomas. I think they're going to be terrible.
Cam Thomas, I thought it was Ben Simmons. They're clearly the number one team to me. I think even the promotion of Ben Simmons like this, we've seen this a million times every summer. They're trying to trade him because they're trying to promote him as much as possible. Similarly to like the Knicks with Jericho Sims, we say I ain't fooled by nothing. We'll get to them later on. They're trying to get rid of Ben Simmons. They're trying to get rid of Ben Simmons, Flea. I see it.
Fine. Jericho Sims and Ben Simmons, that's not the same thing. You know that. Don't do that.
I'm saying the way that all of a sudden Wally Zerbiak, can you believe Jericho Sims out here? Like, Wally, calm down.
Nobody ever. Wally Zerbiak said Tyrese Halliburton was not an all-star. We don't listen to Wally Zerbiak.
That's my point. You're now thinking
we don't listen to Wally.
Now you understand what I'm saying. Neither do I listen to all these people telling me that Ben Simmons is great all over again. Yeah, okay. They're trying to get rid of him. They're trying to maintain that number one spot for the Eastern Conference Cooper Flag sweepstakes. They're the worst team by far.
Is that agreeing? Are we agreeing on that, fellas? Or AllBall or Flea got someone worse?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I think the best two teams, if they're smart, they should tank, is Brooklyn or Atlanta. I think that's where Cooper Flag should go. But to me, the worst team is going to be Charlotte. Because I just think over there, they have a young superstar that, no disrespect, these young men don't care about winning. They care about Instagram flossing. So I think the worst team in the East is the Charlotte Hornets.
Really? Even with Brandon Miller, he showed some signs last year. I mean, how much do you believe in LaMelo Ball?
Like I said, he's fun to watch, but as far as believing into carrying the franchise and caring about winning basketball games and getting to the playoffs, I don't believe in him when it comes to that.
Okay. For my second worst team, I've got the Washington Wizards finishing 14th. Their best player is Kyle Kuzma. We talked about Jordan Poole last year. It was really disappointing. I remember how high we were on him potentially having good stats last year. He didn't even have that.
It was we.
Me and Flea, I think I remember we were.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Poole looked better in the second half of the season. When they fired Wes Unseld and they hired O'Keefe, and O'Keefe started implementing what he liked to do over there, they kind of put the ball back into Jordan Poole's hands. They took it out of his hands early in the season. Like they had other guys. Tyus Jones was doing a lot of the ball handlers. So I think once O'Keefe got put into the helm, he looked a lot better. So I expect Jordan Poole to look a little better this year. I watched Alex Sarr last night.
Okay, let's mention him.
He looked decent last night. He looked way better than he did in summer league. Like way better than he did in the summer league. So I don't know. I will let you finish down, but I don't know if I have Washington as my second worst team.
They got three 2024 draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. They're very young. They replaced Tyus Jones with Brogdon, and I think that was major because Portland, they weren't a great team, but they always played like great perimeter defense, and they would rip the Wizards apart. Early on last season, they would get that was the over under for steals. That was an easy parlay victory. So you replace Brogdon with Tyus Jones basically, but they just announced Brogdon's out for 3 weeks. So the DC Cooper flag is in effect.
And Brogdon just said, I always wanted, I couldn't wait to play for the Washington Wizards. I wanted to play for them all my. Shut up. Shut the hell up. Sorry.
No, that's so funny. I mean, who do you got as the second worst team in the conference, AllBall?
I got Atlanta.
Really? Atlanta below Washington. Really? I mean, the best player is Kyle Kuzma.
I mean, to me, the best player is Jordan Poole. And I think, he's a champion. I've seen what he could do when he was with Golden State. I think last year was just a bad season. Him, like I said, coming off of what happened in Golden State, I think this season, he's going to mature. And I think they're going to have a better season than Atlanta.
Any thoughts on a rookie kid that they drafted? Zachary. Is that the number one pick? Zachary? Richard
Shire.
Any thoughts on him?
I ain't got no thoughts on none of the class, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of them play yet, so I can't really speak on that. I mean, you mentioned Malcolm Brogdon. Flea mentioned Alex Sarr. We'll see if we can get a step up from Bilal Coulibaly this year. I mean, I really don't know what to think. They have Jonas Valanciunas now. Corey,
that's a trade piece. They're gonna that's another draft pick waiting to happen, right, Flea? Like
Hey, Bilal went from 6'6" to 6'9". As a rookie, he was drafted at 6'6". He's 6'9" now. And I was watching him in the summer. I'm in the Olympics. Not saying he took a huge jump, but he a ball player. He'll be just fine. I think he'll be just fine in Washington. That height though, like adding 3 inches, pause, like that's major.
So far down, we got Nets, Hawks, and
Well,
You can't even be serious at this nigga.
Hey, Flea, who do you have as your second worst team though?
I'm sorry.
It's major. That's major was crazy.
Certain things you can't pause. I'm just being honest with you, man. Sorry, Dom, man. I
It was
apologize,
crazy.
man.
I didn't even see it.
major growth out there from DC.
No, listen.
Do you have the Hawks as the second worst team in the Eastern Conference or the Wizards?
Second worst team in the Eastern Conference. We got Brooklyn as the first. OG got Charlotte as his first. Yeah, I'll go Washington.
Okay. Well, so Fabian, you and I are in agreement there.
With the Hawks?
You got the Hawks or the Wizards?
I have the Hawks.
Oh, wow. So you agree with AllBall?
Yeah, I got the Wizards third because there's a lot more talent there. And I think the Hawks are more disarray than the Wizards.
So what do we think? So that brings. I mean, I don't have even the Hawks.
I got the Wizards third as well.
Okay, I got the Toronto Raptors in 13th.
What?
Wow.
I think they'll be better than that.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks will be bad. I think they'll start tanking when they trade Trae Young.
So Trae Young's getting traded
Young.
this year.
Huh?
So Trae Young's getting traded this year.
I think so. I think
Dom, please, you got to explain to me why do you think Toronto is that bad?
Because, well, their best player is Scotty Barnes, who I'm pretty high on, but I think he could take another step forward, but I don't know if he's leading a team to the play-in. And they literally to me only have like 4 good players, like RJ Barrett, Manuel Quickly,
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, Manuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, and like Jakob Poeltl. Like Grady Dick is supposed to take a step up this year. Like maybe
I think Chris Boucher isn't a bad player.
He's not a bad player. He's decent, but like to me, he's a guy you throw around star players, and like he's a good solid role player. I don't know if he's going to be able to create shots. I just think their offense is going to be kind of nasty. I'm not high on RJ Barrett. I never have been. I know he's looked good on Toronto, but like he's going to look good on this bad team. Like, I don't know. I just give Trae Young some props. That's why I'm going with Atlanta being still decent, because Trae Young, you guys are not high on Trae Young at all. I still think Trae Young is a very good player.
I'm high on Jalen Johnson, and what's the other kid?
Yeah, Jalen Johnson. I mean, DeAndre Hunter's always hurt. I hope you're not mentioning him.
No. It's the guard. It's the wing player. It ain't.
Well,
you got another kid over there with the Hawks that I'm higher on than it's not Trae Young.
AJ Griffin?
Nah, it's not him. I'll look it up. Go ahead, play. Oh, well, my fault.
No. I was just gonna ask. Dom. You're very big on. You agree with Becky Hammond with the Jalen Brunson take. I'm saying Trae Young is just as small. He doesn't have a great roster, so it's like, what do you expect him to do with the East with the additions of all the great teams now? What do we really expect? Philly got Paul George. We still got Giannis.
The bottom is arguably worse than it's been in years to me.
Right. But what do you think Trae Young is going to do with that roster? Being, like we said, maybe 6'1".
I think avoid the Cooper flag sweepstakes.
Yes, that's about it. He can still on a given night get your team great shots in pick and roll, like by just spamming pick and roll like Luka and James Harden and those guys. He's a pick and roll maestro. That's what I think.
The wool is being pulled off our eyes. Atlanta ain't what people was thinking they was. They went and got Landry Fields to be their GM, and they thought they was doing some innovative shit. They are dog shit. They are not good, and they are getting exposed now for who they are. Quinn Snyder, this is your last year in Atlanta. Thanks for having you down here, my brother. Landry Fields, they're about to fire you soon. Good job. Not so good job. Bye.
I'll shoot you some bail, Dom. It was the Dyson Daniels kid I was talking about. He's 6'8", 6'9", running the point guard. Now you could put Trae Young at the 2.
Oh, he was a part of that DeJounte Murray deal.
Okay. Yeah, they have Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr., and then they still have Onyeka Okongwu but I'm not high on Clint Capella being a starting center anymore. I mean, I think the big wild card here is the number 1 pick, Zachary Risache or whatever. I have nothing. I have no knowledge of him.
Yo, you said a Gongu's name. OG said.
You don't like Onyeka Okongwu? He's the USC Chino Hills product.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
So, but we all have the Nets, Hawks, and Wizards in the top of the Cooper Flag sweepstakes.
No, I don't have.
No. I don't have. I don't have Brooklyn there. But my take was, I think out of all the bad teams, the major cities, I think that needs a superstar and to be relevant. For me, it's Brooklyn and Atlanta. I think they both should tank because I think that's where Cooper Flag. I don't want to see him in Washington, Detroit. I don't want to see him in Charlotte. Now I want to see him in a big city. So for me, but I don't have Brooklyn in my bottom 3. My bottom 3, I have Washington, I have Charlotte, and I have Atlanta.
Okay. My number 12 is the Detroit Pistons. I really hope they take a step forward, but it's just the Cade Cunningham health, and they seemingly are always dysfunctional. So I'm going with the Detroit Pistons, but I'm interested to see Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey hopefully put something together. Who's their new coach?
JB Bickerstaff.
Okay, that might be good. I mean, I got them finishing 12th. Flea, who you got 12th?
Well, I don't have them. I have them in the play-in.
Okay, you don't have you haven't said the
Whoa.
Damn.
I got Detroit in the play-in this year. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like to compete, like so 10 or 11, like to compete
Like
with the play.
10, like 9,
Okay.
10 area.
you
I
got
think-
Charlotte or
you got-
Toronto.
Right, you got them taking over Chicago spot.
Yeah, I got Chicago being a lottery team this year.
Okay.
I don't think they.
You got them in the same position where
I got them right now. I got them right now.
in 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
me and Dom agree Pistons is 12, but you got the Bulls at 12.
Yeah, I got the
Wow.
Bulls as well.
So what you think about them? They're gonna trade Zach LaVine?
Yeah, I think they move him sooner rather than later. They probably start auditioning Lonzo because, like, for me, I really like the big step Kobe White made last year.
Yeah.
I just hate the fact that they were so bad last year that you couldn't really get a feel for how much better he got. That kid got so much better, man. He really, really worked on his game, right? Shot creating, shot making ability. He was already a decent shooter, but he handles it well. He gets to the rim now. He looks good in pick and roll. Like all of that shit before coming out of UNC, he was strictly for me like a guy that's just gonna be able to catch and shoot. Now he does so much more with the basketball. I would really like to see him somewhere else, but I feel like, they'll keep him around and move a Levine or move Alonzo for whoever would take him. So I definitely got Chicago as my third worst team in the Eastern Conference this year.
Third worst or fourth worst?
Where we at?
Fourth worst.
We had 12, right?
Yeah.
12.
Fourth worst.
Yeah.
You got all ball.
Yep.
You got all ball.
I have Detroit. That season they had last year, I can't unsee that. So I don't see what type of big leap they're gonna make. And I agree with Dom. The injuries to their former number 1 draft pick, and to me, it's just certain teams. They remind me of Charlotte. I just don't know what it is they're gonna do to become relevant. Like I said, the East has gotten so much better, and it's just like, listen, until if it's some big trades that happen, then maybe. But right now, I have Detroit, the 4th worst team in the East.
Okay, and it seems like we're all in agreement there. I mean,
The only thing is, remember, they made the coaching change, like you said, and the general manager change. The only thing for me, Flea, is there's no shooting. That's why I can't see them eking out to the play-in. Easier to guard. And the Bulls, for some reason,
they got Tobias back.
Yeah, they got some adults in the room for me now. They got some vets in there. Tobias, Paul Reed is in there now. There's another guy that they picked up too, another vet. Malik Beasley, that's a shooter. You said there's no shooting,
okay.
right?
So
There's
Tobias and Beasley, okay.
And Beasley and Jaden Ivey has been, he's not a guy that I consider a shooter, but he's working on that, right? I was watching them last night, and I felt a little different about them last night. It's probably really why I'm jumping out the window, because I had a different feel for them. I didn't look at them and was like, damn, they're gonna only win 20 games this year. I didn't feel like that last night. That's why I got them in the play-in. But yeah, we keep going.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a huge leap for them to make it. They've won only 14 games last year.
Oh yeah, it's a huge lead. Huge lead.
Now the last team that's missing out on any postseason activity in the East, the last team to miss the plan, the 11th seed, I got the Charlotte Hornets. I just think finally LaMelo Ball. Okay, all three of us do. So I just think LaMelo Ball hopefully will have some more luck injury-wise. I really like what I saw from Brandon Miller. He could be like a Paul George imitator.
More poor man's Ray Allen for now. He's a shooter. Like, you don't.
Okay, he loves Paul George. That's like his idol. But
so does the rest of this damn era. That old boy hates all of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball. They still have Miles Bridges, who can still put up 18 to 20 points a night. But it'll be interesting to see their big play. You know, like the Mark Williams, those guys. But I got them finishing 11th. I don't know if I'm forgetting any names, but Fabian and Flea, you guys said you also have them 11th. If you have anything on them, go ahead.
Yeah, I just add LaMelo to one of the stars that I see getting traded this year. But before the trade deadline, there's a couple guys I see getting moved. Levine is one. Trae Young is another one. LaMelo Ball is another one.
Right? You got LaMelo getting traded that soon? That he just signed that big deal.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard deal to move. But I just see, like, those three guys for me they're getting this bad rap like they're not good players. And they're good players. They're just in bad situations on bad teams. And now the casual fan and even us that love it are starting to look at them and put smut on them. Like, Trae Young's not an awful player, but he hasn't done a lot of winning. And so now we're looking at him like, are you a winning kind of player? Levine, we know Levine could be a hell of a basketball player, but he's in a situation right now where it's like, yo, how often you been into the playoffs? Okay, now we're looking at you funny. LaMelo Ball, we had this big thing on Lonzo. You turned out to be the better brother, but Charlotte is shitty, and they've been shitty, and I don't think they're going to get any better. So I just think, like, three of those guys seem, for me, are guys that I think, you know, deserve to be in better situations with some guys around them that's interested in winning right now and not developing. Trae Young is around a lot of guys that's just developing, Fabian.
I think Miller and LaMelo they have to figure out that dynamic because they both kind of ball dominant, to be honest. Yeah. Even though Miller could play off ball, he's amazing. Or I say that, or catch and shoot and all that, but that's tough. I understand your spirit though, where it's like I don't see this working out. So I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm having second thoughts about Charlotte after looking at their depth chart. I mean, LaMelo Ball's played 58 games the last 2 seasons combined. I'm just hoping that he finally has a run of good luck health-wise, finally. But even then, I'm looking at their roster.
Miles is back, right? Miles is back.
He played last night. He played yesterday against the Knicks. He looked great.
Am I underrating Toronto, though? I feel like I might be a little bit.
I got him in the play-in.
They're just more of a functional. They're just more of a functional organization than these guys. I just feel like they're more of a guarantee to be decent. So honestly, I'm going to switch that. They're going to be my 11th. They're going to move everyone down.
Yeah, I got the Raptors in 11. Is the fourth playing spot?
Well, hold on.
11th is the fifth playing spot. But yeah, AllBall. What about who's your last? Your 11th seed, the last team missing out on the plan.
I have Brooklyn.
You're pretty high on them. Why?
For one, I'm gonna be biased. New York.
Okay, fair enough.
But I also think. Let me say this correctly. I think Ben Simmons is going to have an all-star level type season.
Oh my God!
I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star, but I'm just being honest. If he plays and he's healthy, I think he really is going to have to shut people up because right now his name is dirt. So I think he's going to make something happen. So I have Brooklyn there. Let me just say this. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick.
Fabian's cousin is their coach, right? Like, who is their coach?
But hold on, Fleet.
Yeah, he is.
I watched. Did y'all see James Harden try the fake pass and then do the 3-step back?
Oh yeah, on the wing. Yeah, that was crazy.
This is why guys like LeBron, KD, all the older guys. This is why they can still play in the NBA. Because they know these guys don't care about winning. There's no disrespect to LaMelo, the Wizards players, young dudes in Atlanta. Them dudes is not competing for nothing. They competing to get the bag, which is nothing wrong with that. So for me, I don't see them making a big leap because I don't think they are in love with the game of basketball, and I don't think they care about being great. when you watch what James Harden do, and you have the younger guys looking up to players like that, to me, this is why I can't put none of them up there. And this is why I would rather say, okay, I'll give Brooklyn a shot than Charlotte or Washington or Detroit. Now, y'all correct. The additions of Harris and BG to Detroit, that's going to mean something. So I may have to revisit that. But I'm going to be honest, a lot of these young teams, I'm high on LaMelo Ball too. But, Fleet, when I see these guys on social media, on TV, it don't look like they care about the game of basketball. I'm sorry. So I can't see them in games competing and caring if they win or lose.
Like, you know what I always say, OJ, they love the lifestyle. They don't really love the game.
Yep. Right.
But that's been Ben Simmons' theme, is that he loves the lifestyle, posing on the sideline. And on top of that, even if he does play great all ball, let's say he is back to all defensive and all that. My thing is if that's his best case scenario, the Nets are getting rid of him. They're not keeping him. They're trying to trade him and tank. They do not want to be in no playing. They want that Cooper Flag sweepstakes. That's my only pushback with that.
I understand.
All right, then. So now the first play-in spot, the 10th seed. Flea, you said you had the Toronto Raptors, right?
I do.
I agree.
I do.
I agree, Flea.
I got
Fabian also has the Toronto Raptors.
I got him at 10.
I have them now 11 because I moved them up. AllBall, you don't have the Toronto Raptors yet. You got them 10th?
I didn't want to agree with none of y'all. You know, I like to beat the AllBall, but yes, the Toronto Raptors I have at 10, and I almost had them at 9, but I have them at 10. Yes. I just think
I'm leaning that way, AllBall.
Right. When you got 3 good players, I'm being honest. You know, I don't like none of them like that. Let's just be clear. But they're professionals and they belong in the NBA. I just think, you know, they're clearly better than the rest of the crews. So for me, when we made that trade and those guys went to Toronto, it was some games where they show some flashes of they can be okay. They can be fun to watch and they can play basketball. So I'm going to give them that type of respect and I'm going to put them there. I'm going to put them at that spot, the 10th spot. Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
What do you think, Dom?
What do I think about the Raptors? I feel like I've said my piece. I feel like they only have like 4 good players, but it's the Scotty Barnes show, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. Those 4 guys need to be the guys that improve, develop to make this team better. I got the Chicago Bulls 10th. I just only felt as though they were just, if they don't make trades, a decently safe pick because Vucevic is still good for 18 and 9. If Zach LaVine is healthy, it was really reminding myself that, okay, if Zach LaVine is healthy and they don't want to trade his contract, he's still capable of averaging like 23 points a game. And then Flea mentioned Kobe White's development, and then there's guys like Ayo Dosunmu. These guys are going to keep improving. The Giddey pickup, I don't know how I feel about that. Right. I truly don't. I've not been high on Giddey in the way he's looked the last couple of seasons. They're going to have to put him on ball more than he was with OKC because he really isn't great off the ball. And then the Lonzo thing. If Lonzo can come back, I know it's the biggest if, but if Lonzo can come back, give them any glimpse of what we saw before he got hurt in 21-22, that team might not actually be bad. The loss of Caruso, though, and DeRozan is going to be really massive. And I just want to say, like, these 6 teams that I've talked about, they're really bad. I don't think any of them would make the play-in in the West. They wouldn't even have a chance. It's garbage. I think teams like the Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, and Sixers, and like all those teams, the first 7 teams we talk about, even the Miami Heat, they need to feast on these weak teams. They need to see every one of these matchups as like, let's take, like, this is lunch meat. Like, let's destroy them.
Scheduled win. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my take is the Chicago Bulls. I'm not too high on them, but I'm not too high on anybody. But yeah, that's my take on them. How about your guys' 9th seed?
Well, I have the Bulls at 9. I had the Raptors at 10. I might flip flop that because of what you guys said about the Bulls and the Raptors. But I do believe the Raptors, out of all these 6 teams or 7 teams out of the playoffs, they have more of an identity.
Okay, let's do that. Toronto 9th?
Yes, because the Raptors, they look like, to me, like Indiana light with just offense. Because what RJ Barrett did over there with the open court, he shot the lights out. I think that's the best numbers of his career over there in Toronto. And I think Scotty Barnes should take a leap by now, 34th season in the league. And we love IQ, even though he didn't show too much. He was all right. But you said they have four potent guys, Dom. That's enough for me to compete against them other 6 bums. And remember, if it's a playing team, they can make the playing like that.
True. That's true. AllBall, my bad. You had Toronto 8th. So who was your 10th spot? Who's your last playing team? You haven't I'm trying to think who you haven't mentioned. The Bulls? I don't think you have the Bulls yet.
No. I have the Bulls, but I'm gonna keep the Bulls there.
Okay.
Until they trade Zach LaVine, I like Kobe White and Zach LaVine in the backcourt. I think they're gonna be a problem for the East. Like I said, I agree with Flea. I tell any of the young men and women that love the game, y'all need to start looking at guys like Kobe White. Him coming out of college, I didn't really love his game like that. I didn't think he was going to be good. He got his contract, and he's a legit starting point guard in the NBA. So much respect to him. I agree with you, Flea. He took a major leap. And until Chicago trades Zach LaVine has something to prove, just like Ben Simmons. Them dudes' names has been in the dirt, and they gotta get their respect back. So for now, I'm gonna leave Chicago there because as much I think Toronto was better, but everybody know me. I can't root for RJ Barrett. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna keep Chicago there.
Lee, real quick, I think the other thing with the Bulls is they're always like surprisingly competitive. Even though Billy Donovan there's a lot of like criticism about him. They competed with us that game. I always point to the Julius Randle game where he went crazy in the second half against the Bulls. But they compete for no reason. I think they were in a playing spot last year, or trying to make in the playoffs. So for whatever reason, he gets them motivated enough to compete. So that's what gets them around the playing spot for me too.
Well, when you use the word compete, I just thinking about defense, right? He gets his teams to defend. Anybody that I see Billy Donovan, a team that he's coaching, they're gonna play defense. He went over there and got that OKC job, and they looked night and day in terms of defense between him and Scott Brooks, right? So yeah, I think they'll defend. I just something about that mix of that team. I don't like the pieces and the parts and how they put it together. I think they got to break it down to the bare bone and rebuild that thing. So that's why I'm a little lower on the Bulls, but definitely got Chicago. I mean, definitely got Toronto in my 10th spot, and definitely have Detroit. Are we at 9 yet, Dom?
Yeah. So just to tell the audience, so my team that's just missing out on the plane is the Toronto Raptors at 11. Flea's going with the Charlotte Hornets. AllBall is going with the Brooklyn Nets, and Fabian is also going with the Charlotte Hornets. My team that's making the plan, the last spot, is the Chicago Bulls. Flea's going with Toronto. AllBall's going with Chicago, and Fabian is also going with Chicago at the 10th spot. So now number 9, Flea has the Detroit Pistons. So is it that main point you made about JB Bickerstaff and some adults in the room that has you going with them 9th?
Yeah, I just think they got some more basketball minds in there that can relate to today's player. Last year they had Troy Weaver and they had Monty Williams. Monty Williams got that job because they made him the highest paid coach in the NBA. He couldn't turn down that job. The nigga didn't want to coach. He ain't want to coach. He want to go home and chill. But you making me the highest paid coach in the league and I got to coach the Pistons? Fuck it. All right, I'll take the job. Do what we do for a year and fire me. Let me go home and collect my money. Now they got JB Bickerstaff, a little younger guy. I think he can relate more to the players, and he's a tough-nosed player, right? Cleveland was just in the playoffs the last few seasons under him. And then they got Trajan Langdon. I've always been I don't like Duke guys, but that's one guy from Duke that I enjoy watching him play. Trajan Langdon. And then, he's going to school for a little bit with this building a team thing. He's been under David Griffin for a while out there in New Orleans. So he's got an eye for how to build a team. I just think what they got over there right now, and then we look at the roster. Cade Cunningham is a year older. Ivy is a year older. The Thompson twin is a year older. Duren, I'm very high on Jalen Duren. Like, they got a team over there that I think if you get them kids to compete, they could accidentally find themselves into the play-in. You never know. So I got them at 9.
All right. My 9th seed is the Atlanta Hawks. I just think they're safe. They've been in the play-in the last couple of seasons. I think they've been in the play-in maybe every single year since it's been introduced, besides 2021. So like 2022, 23, and 24, they've been in the play-in. Just by the fact that they have Trae Young and some players they've played with before, I'm going with them 9th. Here's where it gets interesting. So I assume, because I can say this for me, my top 8 are the 8 teams that I have making the playoffs. Flea has the exact same 8, just in a different order. Fabian also has the exact same 8 in a different order. AllBall, of course, has to be the one to go against the grain. He's going with Toronto as the 8th seed, Miami as the 9th seed. So Explain that. You think Miami's going to be that bad that Toronto's better? All ball.
He's just tired of Miami. I'm gonna let my OG talk. He's just tired.
No, it's that, but it's also, I'm gonna say it. Bam is not enough. The jig is up with Bam.
You kidding me?
To me,
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That's where you're going?
Are you kidding?
Hold on.
You go to
They're
Bam?
because I'm not listening. I'm over Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is making me look so stupid right now. The way I used to argue over Jimmy Butler pause on these lives used to be ridiculous.
Insane.
And now the jig is up. So I'm not even, listen, for me, Tyler Hero and Bam is not enough. Even with Jimmy Butler. The way the East has upgraded, I'm sorry. I'm over Miami. So yeah, I'm gonna put Toronto. I don't want to do this, but Flea, you're correct. I'm over Miami, bro.
No, that's fair.
I know.
I'm over Miami. I'm over Miami.
We talked about it maybe a week or so ago, and me, you, and Fabian, all three of us was like, "Yo, all right, it's enough now. It's enough."
They crumbling in front of our eyes. We just seen Pat Riley throw a shot at his superstar.
He did,
bro. It's just how y'all talk about. Zach LaVine is not going to be in Chicago, or this team is going to trade this player. We can say the same thing about Miami. Jimmy Butler, his days are numbered. So for me, Miami is lucky we even hold him in this high regard because of the organization, the coach, and they still have some decent players. But for me, I'm over Miami, Dom. I'm sorry.
Dom,
so let's talk about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Dom, let me ask you a quick question. And I mean, any of my brothers can answer this, but was Shaq traded from Miami to Phoenix, or did he walk?
No, he got traded.
He got traded, right? That was a trade. Okay.
For Sean
I'm trying to think like, does Riley got the balls to trade Jimmy Butler?
I think so.
I think he definitely has the balls, but I think with the Heat, I believe that they think Bam Adebayo is a beast and they got to hold on to him for dear life. Yes. And I think if they can just challenge Jimmy Butler to be a little more serious throughout the regular season, they're like, okay, we can still be good. Because remember, I'm just looking at it from their perspective. Terry Rozier was a pickup that was going to help their offense, and we never got to see him. And the beginning of that Philly game when Jimmy Butler got hurt, it looked like, oh, playoff Jimmy's back. He was playing really well in that first quarter. But we can all talk about them now because we all have them eighth, Fabian, Flea, and I. They just haven't gotten any better. I don't know what's going on over there. I said Pat Riley, and you asked me who's my favorite coaches, who I model my coaching after. He's always been a serial winner. What's happening over there?
Jimmy Butler. He missed 62 games. Him and Tyler Hero missed a combined 62 games. I fall flat on my face, bigging up Jimmy Butler as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him for like a KD or something like that, because then they, Phoenix needs him off the books. Like, that's a lot of money they got over there. And why hold on to him if they're not? Where are they going? Plus the Heat, if they're gonna be bad, they're not gonna be, Cooper Flag sweepstakes bad. So they're gonna be in that middle of the pack playing regardless. Because Bam is that great. He's he's an All-NBA defensive first team. This guy, he's no joke out there. So I could see a Kevin Durant thing happening or something to that effect. Maybe Brandon Ingram, something like that, to replace Jimmy Butler, who he's finally gonna show up. He ain't talking nothing spicy, no wigs this offseason. He came in with his regular hair, regular braids, thank God. And he wasn't talking no smack. So he's ready to play because he's ready to play for his contract, just like Ben Simmons, who ironically.
So there's no thought that there needs to be a change on the bench from the coaching's perspective. None whatsoever. We're not even going to touch that at all.
Well, it's going to be interesting with the coach.
I'm asking a question.
It's good. They're going to have to, because Khalil Ware, I think, is kind of tough. As a rookie, 7 foot, he can shoot the three, shot blocker, and then you have him with Bam. That's going to be interesting for me. So they're going to have to, because they never had. When did they have a shot blocker alongside Bam? The coach, they're going to have to factor that in there.
It's like Spo and Pop are untouchable at this point. That's what it is. Are they untouchable?
What
can you not make a move?
They're honestly, they always say they're wasting a player. They're wasting Spo. What is going on? He doesn't have a squad. They don't have a squad. Like
bottom right corner's been real quiet. He ain't saying nothing yet.
He's probably just done with the Heat. He's like, let's go.
Bottom right corner.
No.
I brought up Spo on purpose.
I can say something right now. Miami better be careful, because they're turning into the team and the organization that's not cool, that nobody's going to want to go to. And us being diehard Knicks fans, I know that feeling. Right now, we are the hot spot. Miami is not a hot spot. I keep telling y'all, I'm not putting this on Spo. I'm putting this on Pat Riley. Pat Riley is the reason why right now the Miami Heat is not cool. You literally think you was going to win with Bam and Tyler Hero, and then you picked up Scary Terry, and that was your big move? And then the way you run the organization, bro, them days is over. So I get what you're saying with Spo. Okay, I don't want to, because I like Spo as a coach. So, okay, I give him a little bit of blame. But to me, this is on Pat Riley. Hold on, Fleet. How they used to put all the blame on Dolan. Bro, this is on Pat Riley. It's nowhere in the world the Miami Heat, the city of Miami, is not attractive.
Any other organization, the coach's job will be called into question if there was a situation like this going on right now. Any other organization right now. So I don't know what kind of clout, cachet, what Spo has built. Yes, he won 2 back-to-back championships. He's been to 4 finals. Yes. But when has that...
You said what he built.
What kind of cachet... so now he's untouchable, where it's like, okay, we got to ride with you for the next 10 years because you got us a championship almost 10 plus years ago.
Flea, I gotta stand 10 toes down and some flip-flops on you right now. I'm sorry. I'm abandoning shit with the Spo blame, because let's go back to the Miami history. When they got Alonzo, Tim Hardaway, those were all trades. Dan Marley, all trades.
Right.
Shaq, trades. LeBron, trades. Jimmy Butler, trades. That's not Spo's job. You know what I'm saying? Their whole history, they've never been this landing spot for anybody. I only disagree with you with that part, all ball, just to tweak it a little bit. They've never been a destination, really. It was all via trades. So we got to, if that's the case, that's not Spo's job. That is Pat Riley's job to recognize Jimmy's a lunatic and we got to get him out of here.
We had this conversation already. And for us to think that Spo was not in the room when decisions are being made about the roster is disingenuous of it. That's just a joke. If y'all think Spo is not a part of that, we kidding ourselves.
But Spo has not been around in the history of the Miami Heat. Pat Riley has. And every time they were relevant for championship contention, Pat Riley made a move.
But hold on. My thing is this. Fabian, all right, that's a great point. You make a great point as well. But I'm talking about today, the way the players have the power. Yes, Fabian, back then, the trade thing. Okay, cool, because the freedom is nowhere near like it is today. Guys today, Kevin Durant said, I want to go to Phoenix. How was nobody beating down the door to say, I want to go play in Miami? The city
but they never
of
have.
Miami.
They never have, though. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, cool.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you because how is Phoenix this landing spot? Because everybody goes, remember, the medical staff over there has always been Grant Hill, Shaq. They always revitalize their careers over there. Miami's like, it seems like they all chill over there in Miami. That might be like a spot you don't want to go to as a ball player. That might be like imagine being a rich millionaire playing ball in Miami. That might be way more of a distraction than it is to actually play basketball.
I mean, the weather, no state income tax, you get more of your money. Like,
exactly. Come on,
it's
man.
love. It's love in Florida.
So
what are you talking about?
The sightseeing, the cherry
Sign
picking.
me up. Hey, Flea, you hear this, man? It's a distraction. Okay, so
I'm just saying, but I'm trying to make you compound your point, bro, because that's never been what free agent have they major free agent have they signed? All the major players have been trade Pat Riley since
LeBron?
his existence.
I know the sign and trade. But
that was a sign and trade.
Yeah,
that's a sign and trade.
Right.
But that's all a finagling because of Pat Riley and D Wade and all that. That's all off season. And again, that's not Spo that did that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he
has to okay it, Flea, but Pat Riley's the guy that's the head of that snake over there. So we do have to put all the pressure on him, which is why he spoke out on Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry, Flea, I flip-flopped on you from this summer.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Yeah, I actually agree.
That's your behavior. Your behavior.
I deserve it.
I actually agree with AllBall. Pat Riley, I love him. He's my guy, but I don't know what's going on. He's falling asleep at the wheel over there. But anyway, now for number 7. I've got the Indiana Pacers. Flea also has the Indiana Pacers. Let's talk about the Pacers right now, I guess, just because you and I have them. I think they're very good. I think they're improving. They brought back a lot of the same team, but I just think the East has gone. They were what, 6th last year? I just think the East, Philly just has gotten better with the addition of Paul George. That's really all I think. I think they're going to be just as threatening to go far in the playoffs. They have a great offense. Getting Mathurin back, it'll be interesting to see how that works. Halliburton has gone better every year. These guys that have that playoff experience now, going to these conference finals, will continue to improve, I think. Siakam is in the middle of his prime. Miles Turner, kind of the same deal. And those younger guys like Andrew Nembhard and Ben Shepherd, like I think those guys are going to keep getting better. So I got them finishing 7th. I'm guessing you guys have them higher than me, so I'm guessing you guys agree with a lot of what I'm saying.
I just totally agree with what you said, Dom. Big thing for me is they're getting Ben Mathurin back. I think what I've seen from him, his growth, especially he got hurt last year. I thought that would hurt them a lot. But they was able to galvanize as a team and make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. All of that is valuable experience. Halliburton, Turner, Toppin, all of those guys, Nembhard, Shepherd, what's my son name? TJ McConnell, right?
Jalen Smith.
Unreal.
Yeah, like all of those guys went deep into the playoffs, got a chance to play, well within April, early May. So like I just thought that what they, and that gives confidence to young guys, right? And then Carlisle, still I think one of the better coaches in the league. I think he'll have them ready to rock and roll again. I just the collection of talent that they have over there, I think there are other teams in the Eastern Conference that have better collection of talent, which is going to just make them a better team. So I still got Indy at 7.
AllBall, you have them 5th. Fabian has them 4th. Is that, the respect that you're giving them out of beating you guys last year? I know, albeit the injuries, they still had an impressive run.
Let's get something correct. I hate the Indiana Pacers. I have no respect for them. But I think certain teams are just good regular season teams. And I think Indiana, they're young. So, certain teams are going to take the regular season more serious than others. You have teams like Miami that, they have a veteran organization, veteran team. So for them, just getting in the playoffs is cool. They don't care about home court advantage, none of that. I think Indiana being young, they do have a good roster. And I just think they're going to be a good regular season team. So, yes, I have them 5th, but I still wouldn't take them to beat, none of the top teams in the first round or whatever round. But to me, for the regular season, they're going to be exciting and fun to watch, and they definitely going to win some games.
Fabian?
I just think, I've been covered in Halliburton in Sacramento. I thought they clearly lost that trade. Sabonis and Halliburton would have been ridiculous. They would have been a playoff team, playoff contention. The only thing stopping Indiana right now is their health, actually, because Halliburton got hurt, and he was really an MVP candidate before he got hurt. He was crazy. He was 12-2 assist ratio. How many games did we see with Halliburton where he had like 15 assists and no turnovers? All on the floor in the offense, full speed, full throttle. It wasn't the Rajon Rondo, CP3, LeBron assist hunting. None of that. He was going bananas. But he got hurt against the Bucks in December, whenever it was, in the in-season tournament. He was going. They killed the Bucks healthy. So even when they got hurt, the fact that they still picked up steam, I think that had to do with Miles Turner, because he played 77 games and Miles Turner last 5 seasons, he played 77 games last year, but the 3 years before that was 62, 42, and 47. So the big reason why they kept in the game last year was because Miles Turner was healthy, 77 games. I don't. If they didn't stop second in the league in offense, they didn't stop when Halliburton went down, and when he comes back, they make some noise. Nah, I don't. They're not going to be a bottom 3 team in the Eastern Conference. I don't see that. And they have an identity. What's so funny, man?
No, Fleet, did you do the AllBall? Did you roll your eyes?
Yo, we can make a montage of your nonverbal expressions, and it's just crazy. But yeah, Fabian was talking about assist hunting by Hall of Famers. Anyway, let's move on.
That's what they're known for. What are you talking about? Rajon Rondo, CP3 or assist hunters.
Massive.
Tyrese Halliburton is not. Thank you. 2 votes. You want to go AllBall, or you want to stay out of it?
Debating with you niggas. That's the whole
I know.
Thing. This wasn't a debate.
I know.
So pretty high on Indiana, Fabian and AllBall. For my So yeah, I have them as Flea and I have them as the number 1 playing team. Number 6 for me, I'm going with the
Well,
Orlando.
hold on, Dom. I know just real quick, y'all had Indiana at 7. For my 7, just to give you, because I had Indiana at 5. For my number 7, I had Orlando Magic at my number 7. Just real quick, I think teams, are on to them now. They're not going to catch nobody by surprise. I love, the addition to KCP, but for Philly to get, Paul George, us get Cat, Mikal Bridges, like I said, Giannis and Dame, they're going to come back with vengeance. You got Boston. So I have at my number 7, I have the Orlando Magic.
Okay, you're the lowest on them of everybody. I have the Orlando Magic at 6. Flea has the Orlando Magic at 4. So he's got them getting home court this year. That would be the first time they'd be getting home court since I want to say 2011, maybe. And then Fabian with a big takeover here. He's got them finishing 2nd in the Eastern Conference. So I'm honestly going to let Fabian do the hype train with them. My reasoning is very clear. An improving young team. Paolo Banchero is a star. I don't know if has he made the All-Star team yet, Flea? He made it last year? No.
Last year.
Okay, so he'll make it again. Franz Wagner, maybe he makes his first All-Star appearance this year. And the addition of KCP, I mean, this is going to be one of the best defenses in the league. They already one of the best defenses in the league.
Dom.
Jalen Suggs and KCP in the backcourt is crazy defensively.
Hold on. Real quick, Dom. Paul George is in the East now. Are you sure Banchero is going to be an All-Star?
Yes. I don't think Paul George even – I argued with this before. I don't even think Paul George is better than Paolo Banchero right now.
No, but that's not what he's arguing. He's talking about All-Star team. He's voting and stuff.
Yeah, and I think Paolo Banchero will be more available. He's the leader of his team. Paul George is like the 3rd option. I know AllBall went back and said he's the 2nd option. He's not. But this team's defense is going to be something special. They still have Jonathan Isaac coming off the bench. I mean, Fabian, take it away. You're clearly very high on them.
Well, I'm a fan of teams that they stick with their identity. Orlando, Milwaukee, the Knicks had to kind of reinvent themselves, but they're closer to their identity than the Bucks are. I had the Bucks 7th, and to me is very hard because these teams are it's gonna be a slugfest in the East. So it's not because it's 7th because they suck so much, but we don't believe in Doc Rivers. We'll get to the Bucks in a second. The Magic with 3rd in the league in defensive rating behind Boston and Minnesota. They're just amazing. And then you double down and get KCP in the backcourt with Jalen Suggs. Now you just answered the Boston backcourt point of attack. These are 2 guys who could be, all defensive guys. KCP can shoot. Then you put Gary Harris on the bench. Franz Wagner, the Orlando Magic had better numbers when Franz Wagner was on the court and Banchero sat down. The biggest factor for me is Jonathan Isaac with the health. If he's healthy, that's a game changer. That's a game. They automatically get number 2. And I'm more concerned with, the Celtics' health and all that. If Jonathan Isaac is in the mix, healthy, forget about it. That's too much defense. They're going to stop everybody. Wendell Carter's coming back. Apparently, he's going to start, so he can spread the floor a little bit. And now you got KCP that can spread the floor a little bit too. If Franz Wagner could shoot better, then they really make a push for this. But I'm just a fan of teams. You got Minnesota, Boston, and Orlando. Boston was the number 1 team. Minnesota was the top 3 team in the West. All they need is a little bit more help. I just can't see how a defensive team like this, when you become more super, how you don't just dominate the rest of the league. I'm really high on them. And remember, they gave Boston matchup problems the last couple of years, beat them back-to-back games, and they were really trying. Now you add KCP for the point of attack. That's an answer for Derek White and Drew Holiday. That's going to be major for me.
And they also lack shooting, and KCP is a 40% three-point shooter. Flea, anything to add that hasn't been said about those guys?
No. I just love what Jamal Mosley is doing as a coach. Y'all know I love that guy. So I love the fact that his who he is as a coach is showing up on the basketball court. Like sometimes you got really good coaches out there to just have bad teams and you never really could see them shine. So I'm happy to see that dude is shining and that team is shining. I did not know how great Jalen Suggs was as a defender until I sat down the other day and watched a 6-minute montage on the little things that he does on the defensive end. It ain't just sliding your feet, moving the puppies. He does some stuff on the defensive end
tough.
That only elite Drew Holiday, Derek White, himself, Alex Caruso, Tony Allen, Avery Bradley, like those type of defenders, they only have certain kind of instincts, and Jalen Suggs has all those kind of instincts. So I love that kid. And Banchero. I think Banchero, when we come back and maybe reconvene at midseason to see, what our picks are looking like, I think by midseason we may be talking about Banchero as 1, 2, 3 player in the Eastern Conference, right? Just one of the best players in the conference. When we,
So hold on. Let's slow down. Let me ask y'all a question. Because Flea, you sounded like AllBall there for a minute. Hold your horses. So, in the East, we got Embiid, we got Paul George, we got Maxey, we got Brunson, we got Cat.
Just name 3 niggas on
we got
George stuff.
Hold on.
Got Giannis.
You got Giannis, you got Dame, you got Halliburton, you got Tatum, you got Brown. I'm just asking. You telling me Banchero has the opportunity to be better than all those guys? Just asking.
Banchero has the opportunity to be a top 3 player in his conference this year. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard that clearly. That's all.
Yes.
Okay.
Banchero has the opportunity to be a starter in the All-Star game. Let me be more specific. Okay. He has the opportunity to be a starter in the All-Star game this year.
It's his 3rd season, right?
This is his
3rd.
Yeah, this is 3rd season.
Yeah, so I expect a big. That's not a. Yeah, that's a good. That's a good bet.
Banchero is better than Bam right now.
Better best player.
He's a guy you build around. I would say. Bam is not a guy.
I'm asking y'all a simple question.
Yeah, if I got to draft,
you're drafting Banchero over Bam right now. Okay.
Well,
defensively, that's like they're total opposites. Like Banchero struggles defensively, but he can, he's bothersome with the 6'10" length, whatever. But you got to go with the offensive guy, right, to start a team with. Anytime you got usually the number 1 picks that can score, they do something. So yeah, you got to build around Banchero before Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I think
he's better than Donovan Mitchell.
Not yet, I don't think.
Donovan's more I think more realized, like he knows his game. Banchero's still raw.
Right.
But
it's the jump shot for Banchero that has to come. That they give them that all day long. I think it improved last year, but he still doesn't shoot very well. Usually guys that size shoot better from the field. I think the jumper is going to be something. Yeah, go ahead.
OG, name whoever you want to name at this point. Name whoever you want to name. No. I'm saying to you, Banchero will be in the position to be a top 3 player in the conference by February. That's my statement.
You heard the man.
All right. Hold on. Okay. And I'm saying he ain't even probably the 10th best player in the East yet. Not yet.
Okay.
We'll yet. See.
He was an All-Star last year. What does that say about him?
Okay. Along with 10 other All-Stars?
I'm just saying.
Did
he
start?
Top 12. He's 12, one of the 12 best players in the Eastern Conference.
Right. And I said he ain't 10 yet. So you give him 11, 12. Okay, I agree with that.
Oh, shit. Now we getting down to the 11th or 12th guy. All right, cool.
You said he's going to be top 3.
I did. I'm standing on that.
Okay.
We'll just have to see.
Love this conversation.
For this next one, everybody, we're going to hold on Fabian 7th right now. But for this next one, everybody has them 6th, except for me. I have them 5th. Cleveland Cavaliers. So we all have them dropping. My only justification is that the Philadelphia 76ers just got better. So I'm basically just putting them higher. But I still think the Cavs, I think people are really sleeping on the Cavs because they missed Evan Mobley for a bunch of games last year. Even Donovan missed some time. The way Evan Mobley played in the playoffs to me was very promising in the sense that he was actually being used as a guy that can go out there and get a bucket anymore, not just a roller defender. So if he takes that next step, I think that's where it's going to be huge for Cleveland. Donovan's in the middle of his prime. He's going to be great yet again. The thing is obviously a big question mark. The thing that is a big question mark is the Darius Garland fit. Is he going to still be there by the end of the season? Are they going to roll with that? But I think regardless, they've got a solid team. They defend, and it's all about Evan Mobley. I don't see them getting that much worse. I could easily see Orlando or Indiana finishing higher, but I believe they'll finish 5th. If there's anything you guys got on them, go ahead. You guys have them finishing 6th.
Fleet. Let's get more specific. I did the numbers. Donovan Mitchell played 55 games last year. Evan Mobley played 50. Darius Garland played 57. They got to get used to each other, number one. Number two, Kevin Garnett said exactly what you said, Dom Dropper. AllBall hates when Shaq calls these guys out. I love it because he called out Evan Mobley. You guys compared him to me. No, you better show up every night. You too nice. You too nice of a guy. Get out there. I want to see some meanness. So if he takes a leap,
who compared Evan Mobley to Shaq?
No. I'm saying the way
Evan Mobley to Kevin Garnett.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. The way Shaq calls out the centers is the same way Kevin Garnett called out Mobley. Somebody was compared to him.
But who compared Evan Mobley to Kevin Garnett? That's unfair.
That's been there. No, that's been there.
Flea did it.
No, it wasn't just Flea. It's not just you. It wasn't just you. I think it's mad racist to say he looks like Tim Duncan. No, he looks like they just his nephew or something like that. He looked
like Tim Duncan.
He just looks like him in the face. That was mad racist. And then they compared him to Kevin Garnett, also all ball. But again, they put these premature comparisons to him. If he 57 games, y'all don't know each other like that. And then we don't believe in it. None of us believe in the Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Stop being nice, Dom. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, they don't mix. Shout out to Ricky G from Twitter. He's the first person that said that's not going to work. It's a small backcourt. Same reason I didn't want Donovan here with Jalen Brunson. It's not going to work.
Can I start a little mess? Just briefly, y'all opinion. Is Darius Garland still a starting point guard in the NBA?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
For a playoff team.
Yeah.
Darius Garland is a starting point. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on. Please, nobody in the chat or my brothers up here, don't get your pennies in a bunch. I'm not saying he's not an NBA player. I know he's a former All-Star. He belongs in the NBA. I'm just asking at this point. For a playoff team, Darius Garland can be your starting point guard.
Starting point guard, yes. Best player, no.
Okay.
I think
if I make a Flea how you say a prediction, I can see that San Antonio getting interested, and somewhere this year, Atlanta's going to be involved with the San Antonio trade because the Spurs own Atlanta's draft picks. I could see Cleveland, the Spurs, and Atlanta getting in a 3-team trade, and Garland goes to San Antonio because they need a point guard. You get a point guard with that guy out there, and Castle. Yo, I love that kid, Flea. I love that kid. Yeah, you were right. You were right. Love that kid.
Good. That kid. He's the son. I think I mentioned it to y'all. His dad, Stacy Castle. Stacy Castle is from Queens, played for Far Rockaway. One of the best guards to come out of Queens, that Far Rockaway area. Stacy Castle. Y'all get a chance, look him up. Amazing hooper. Big thing for that Cleveland team. Y'all know how I am with coaching. I feel like, Kenny Atkinson coming from Golden State, lost his job in Brooklyn, comes from Golden State, sits next to Steve Kerr for a little while. I just see that Cleveland offense being totally different than what Bickerstaff had them doing, the last couple years. I see things opening up a little more. I do see them featuring Mobley some more. So maybe we do see him with a little more meaner streak because he's getting more touches. Like, imagine them going through him and Donovan just getting his 25 just off of him just being great. Right, instead of going through Donovan Mitchell and Mobley trying to figure out how to fit in, and Garland trying to figure out. Donovan is a 25 a night guy, but if you go through Mobley, give him a bunch of confidence. 2 years ago, he was top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year award. Like the kid got a motor. The kid could go. It's just I think it's a fact of just getting his motor and getting him more confident. If you give him the rock, like. I think they'll be all right. I think their offense opens up a little better. They may be a better team than they was last year.
Anything on them, AllBall? That hasn't been said?
Well, for me, I have Cleveland 6. It's I don't see how people are high or low on Cleveland. Cleveland is just what they are. They made it to the second round last year. They beat a good Orlando Magic team. So guys that, try to throw dirt on them, I don't see how they can do that. No matter how many games they played, they had to deal with injury, but still made it to the second round. Donovan Mitchell is one of the most underrated budding superstars in the NBA. He gets a lot of flack. He puts up just about the same numbers as all the other superstars, but for some reason, everybody want to shit on him. I would have Cleveland higher because they're always going to be a good regular season team, but I think their problem is Darius Garland. The way he's digressed, the way he's kind of went downwards instead of going up from being an all-star last couple years. Listen, I think to me that's the problem. If they could fix that, because it's evident him and Donovan Mitchell is not meshing how they should be. So for me, if they could figure out that, I think Cleveland is always going to be a good team for the regular season. Another team that's going to always get 50+ wins. But like I said, in the playoffs, depending on who they play, you ain't going to pick them. But yes, I have them at number 6.
All right.
Real quick, Dom. That's another reason why I got the Cavs lower, because the Magic got so much better, in my opinion, with KCP. And then you could X out. They could really give a matchup problem to Boston and Cleveland. I think they could really beat them in a series, either one of them. So when you can beat playoff teams, in my opinion, like projecting that, I think that gives you a little more. And Flea always makes the point. How did you get better from last year? The Nuggets didn't do that from year to year. And to me, the Magic have. Cleveland, how have they gotten better?
Yeah, it's really all on Evan. It's really all on Evan Mobley. And if Darius Garland can revert back, as AllBall said, Evan Mobley, I just want to say, he shot career high 37% from 3 last year, only 1 attempt a game. Guarantee you Kenny Atkins is going to be telling him to try to get those up there and see if he can stretch the floor and open up the offense. So we'll see how that goes. I agree with Flea. I think they got to look at him more of as a second option as opposed to the third option. But that'll be interesting. Now we're at the top 4. The top 4 teams in the East, because I've got Cleveland as my number 5, as I said. Flea, you've got the Philadelphia 76ers as your number 5. We've already talked about Indiana. AllBall's got them number 5. And Fabian's also got the 76ers. I've got the 76ers 4th. So we've got them all in that range. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. They got Paul George. They have, one of the best big threes in the league. The fact that we were even debating who their second option is, Tyrese Maxey or Paul George, shows you how good they are. Tyrese Maxey has gotten better
Y'all debate that. I don't debate that, Dom. That's y'all.
Well, it was 3-1, AllBall, with you being the one rooting for Paul George on that argument. We all said Tyrese Maxey's better. I think, look, man, they're going to be very solid. I think Paul George increases the regular season floor. Like when Embiid's out, they'll have another star that can go out there and score. But I think because Paul George and Embiid are often out, that's why I have them 4th. But I think they could be as good as the Bucks or over the Bucks, but I see them finishing anywhere between 3 through 5.
I might have to change that, Flea, and put the Sixers at 4 for me and the Pacers at 5. Because they just have, like AllBall said, it's just super talented, and they don't have that much to figure out, even though they do. They got to figure that out. I don't care how much weight Joel Embiid lost. You still got to get Joel Embiid to have an MVP season again. You're not making the top 14 without him having an MVP season. Maxey, I'm hearing crazy things about. And then their additions were this offseason was Andre Drummond, Paul George. I like the Eric Gordon pickup, even though I hate him historically. Caleb Martin is tough too, and they got him on the cheap. So and they added Adam Boner. Adam Boner is tough. I forgot what school he went to. Oh, he went to UCLA. He's tough, Dom. You could tell me more about him, but from what I've seen in the pre-draft stuff, he's tough. So I want to respect him. I just don't like the super field team to this, Flea. Like, we've seen this movie before. How many times you gonna put all these people together and think you're gonna win a championship? It doesn't work that way.
Like I said, for the last probably Joel's entire career, we watched them stack Philly up to put him in a position to take nights off and be in the playoffs at the end of the season. And that comes to fruition every year, whether that's Ben Simmons playing at a high level, whether that's bringing in Jimmy Butler, whether that's bringing in James Harden. Now, you drafted well in getting Maxey, and now you got Paul George in the mix. I just don't think you need to start putting the ball in Paul George's hand and say, "Here, take us home." I don't think that's the guy that you need to latch your wagon onto and say, "Yo, take us home." He's unreliable, and that's just really what it is. Joel Embiid is becoming unreliable, right? And so now you have this heavy weight that Maxey has to carry at some points during the season. That's why I think that they'll be at the 5th spot. Because there will be times where Joel is not available. And there will be times where Paul George is, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. There will be times where Paul George is not available. That 74 games he played last season for the Clippers is an anomaly in the time he was with the Clippers. If you look at those 4 or 5 years he was with them. Last year was the most games he played ever for them. And that was a contract year. Go figure. Right? So I just don't think that that's a guy that you could really rely on. I'm going to respect them and who they are, and I respect Nick Nurse as a coach. But I think that they'll go through lulls during the season where when the season is done, they won't have won enough games to get into the top 4. So I got them. I got them at 5.
Fabian and I both have them forward. AllBall has them second.
Real quick, AllBall. Joel Embiid has never played 70 games. He played 60 games 4 times in his career. 31, 63, 64, 51, 51, 68, 66, 39 last year. And he got a bunch of he got 5 MVP top 12 considerations throughout when he played 60 games, but he got 1 MVP consideration when he played 50 games. That's why he's standing out here saying, I don't care about no all NBA or MVP consideration, because you can't get it. You got to play 65 games and sign up for it, Joel. You better show up for them Philly fans. He looks crazy out there.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm only high on Philly because of the names on the back of the jersey. If we going off of, you know, how we, you know, have these shows and talk, some of y'all have Maxey, you know, some people think he's the best player on the 76ers. It's a lot of praise for Maxey. Embiid every year is damn near MVP candidate if he can stay healthy. And then we seen what they did with Maxey, Embiid, and Harden. They was in the second round in the Game 7 against the Boston Celtics last year in the second round with injuries. So you telling me
you beat them in the first round?
Oh, that was the first. Okay, sorry, first round. But with the addition of Paul George and seeing what they did with James Harden, like I said, if they can stay healthy, this team is the most dangerous team besides our Knicks in probably the NBA. If they can stay healthy, so that remember this is for the regular season. Even though I have them number 2, I'm not picking them against us in the playoffs. But if we're talking regular season, if you going off the additions they made and the moves they made in the summer, in the off season, listen, I have them number 2.
Okay.
Another thing with that, Dom, real quick, I don't think Maxey's a number 1 per se, but I think the fact that Embiid is there, he's a super number 2 now. They should work on making that super number 2's job easier. Like, he scored 25 a game last year. He's shooting way too many 3-pointers. He should get way easier baskets going to the rim. And he could get the teams in foul trouble. But Embiid, he's a bit of a ball stopper too, man. Like, they got to make his job way easier. And if that's the case, then that's where we're going to see some trouble.
Well, Paul George will help, giving him that wing threat, can move off the ball a little bit. But let's now talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. What's so funny?
Big fucking fish, man.
Hey, yo, fish is so stupid,
man.
Jeez.
It do look like that, though.
So,
Yeah.
yo, listen, I gotta get my backdrop, man. Listen, man,
No,
don't do that to me, man.
because it does. Because
I'm
OG be
sorry,
looking
Dom.
to the left like, can I speak now? Can I speak now?
Now, I gotta cut the TV up because I be looking. I be all over the place. But yeah, Dom, I'm sorry. Fish always come in here. Fish, get out of here with that mess.
Yeah.
But Fish always the humor, man. Fish's family, man. Shout out Fish.
We love you. We love you,
That was
Fish.
funny.
Icebreaker.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Dom.
So for the Milwaukee Bucks, I got them finishing number 3. I mean, they're solid. You have Giannis, Chris Middleton, Dame. I'm really concerned for them about Chris Middleton's health. I have them 3rd just because Giannis gets the job done in the regular season. Flea has them finishing 2nd. AllBall has them finishing 4th. But Fabian is extra low on my old friend Glenn Rivers' team. He's got him 7th. So, Fabian, why so low on a team with Giannis and Dame on it?
It has more to do with, like I said, you just splitting heads, bro, because what is their identity? I mean, they lost Malik Beasley, and you get Gary Trent Jr., you get more defense back, don't get me wrong. And even picking
He
up...
just got hurt, too. We gotta hope he's okay.
Yeah.
You know, he got hurt the other day with the shoulder. Yeah, with a nasty pick.
Yesterday.
Gary
He had
Trent?
to leave the game. Yeah.
So, look, that even more pressure on the key to this team. Oh, DeLon Wright is that's a better pickup than Patrick Beverly. He's been scamming.
Torian Prince.
Got Patrick Beverly scamming ass up out of here over there, shipped them out. They won't be nobody throwing yeah. They won't be throwing no basketballs at white girls in the stands no more. Yeah, man, get him out of here.
No, we love Patrick Beverly over here.
I don't know. You better be careful with those kind of words, Dom.
I love Pat Beverly. He did a lot for us.
Send him a care package to Jim.
Anyway,
the thing with Chris Middleton, he played 88 games in the last 2 years. He hasn't played 70 games since 2019. His career average is 17 points per
Done.
game.
He's done.
And from 2018 to 2022, he averaged 20 points per game. In the last 2 seasons, he averaged 15, man. So,
yo, they roasted me in the comments. I gotta get a backdrop. They said, blink Spice if you need some help.
did you blink?
No, they stupid, man.
They're gonna keep going, man. You gotta blink for them, man.
I know. No. I didn't finish.
Man, you should tell them you okay, AllBall. Tell them you okay. Tell them you okay.
I'm all right, y'all. I'm okay. Trust me, if I wasn't okay, I would never call y'all for help. Get out of here, man.
So
go ahead.
Nah, Chris Middleton averaged 20 points per game in the previous 4
Fabian,
seasons before
Fabian,
the last 2.
I gotta cut you off. Chris Middleton's done. He's done. Fork. Done.
And you still have him second, Flea. You haven't hired anybody in this room.
I do. I'm gonna let Fabian finish though. He's done though.
No, that was it. I mean, that's the key though. If he can't take another, what is Dame Lillard gonna do for you? The only thing I liked about what Doc Rivers said in the offseason so far was he spoke to Bill Simmons and he basically said,
really gonna do? Sorry,
listen, did you miss last season? The only thing Doc Rivers spoke to that what Doc Rivers spoke to last year.
Playoffs. That's what he's gonna do. What are you talking about, Fabian?
It's Fabian. With Doc Rivers spoke to how Damon get easy baskets, and it's because when the Bucks were inbound to play, they kept giving it to Giannis on a made shot. But when they missed baskets on a turnover, Giannis would take all those shots, and it's good for them. But you can't keep giving Giannis the ball when you inbound it after a pass because those were Dame spots. That was Dame momentum shots. And they got to get back to, all right, when they make a shot, the defense makes a shot, just give it to Dame. Let them run the offense. If not, Giannis, what the hell are you doing out there? You could put pressure on the defense after a turnover or whatever.
Milwaukee was something like 44-22 with Dame and Giannis on the floor together. So it's not like they were bad last year when they were on the floor together. I just don't think that we saw the best version of Damian Lillard that we've seen over the last 10 years of his career. And obviously that has a lot to do with a lot of things. I don't think Dame was fully healthy last year. I don't think Dame got traded to where he wanted to be, right? I don't think he fully wants to be in Milwaukee, but it's your second year here, so you got to buy in now, right? And then the other thing, too, there was some personal shit going on with him. You could look in his face and tell, okay, this nigga he's heavy. He's heavy. His shoulders look heavy. I could see his gut through his jersey. Like, he wasn't looking good. So he didn't play well last year. So I definitely feel like, you
second team in the East.
Yeah, number 2. I think Giannis and Dame gonna come back and wow. Because a lot of niggas like you, a lot of niggas like whoever, a lot of people talking like they not capable of being there and winning some games and being dangerous. I really think that they got both those guys who play with chips on their shoulders. Definitely think they'll have them in the second spot. That's for me.
All right. So we got only. My bad.
I got Milwaukee number 4. And the reason why I got them that low is because of Doc Rivers. If they have Doc Rivers, they may be number 1 and number 2. Did y'all see that dumb shit Doc Rivers said the other day?
No.
When they asked him about something, he said, well, I'm just coaching my black job. I'm over Doc Rivers. Sweet. Just like how you said Chris Middleton, stick a fork in them. Stick a fork in Doc Rivers as a head coach. Get them out of here.
Glenn Rivers should have not been getting jobs years ago, but I rest my case. Everybody on Dime Dropper knows that. Now there's only 2 teams left, the grand finale. I have them top 2. Flea does not have them top 2. AllBall does not. None of you guys have them top 2 except me. I think this is kind of crazy. So Flea's got your Knicks 3rd. Fabian also has your Knicks 3rd. Explain, first of all, fellas, why you don't have your Knicks top 2, even though you've been a good regular season team. You are one of the favorites. You added Mikal Bridges. You added Karl-Anthony Towns. Why do you have, in Flea's case, the Bucks over them? Fabian, you have Orlando over them.
Like I said, Orlando doubled down on their identity. We did not. We have a whole new identity. I was shocked that Tibbs actually did increase the speed last night and with the pace for the Knicks. I didn't mind seeing Cat in the Knicks uniform. I thought I was going to be more disgusted, but this is not the same team as last January, Dom. That's just the bottom line. Everybody can say whatever the hell they want. When it was I Heart, Randall, OG, Dante DiVincenzo and Brunson, we would just balance. We don't have a balance yet, and defensively, we took a massive drop. Cat is not an All NBA defender, an all defensive dude. It's not who he is. So, you know, all that being said,
what massive drop we took on defense? We only lost Randall, who's not a great defender. So now DiVincenzo, he's the anchor of our defense. That's where the big defensive drops off at.
And you added Bridges as well, Fabian.
Right, but you still have it's the middle of the pack. Who's gonna defend for us for the first 4 months of the season?
Oh, defend who? No. Wings?
No,
you
defending.
Said we took a major drop off on defense. Hold on.
In my opinion,
took a major. Right, I'm asking you where. If we only lost, Randall was not a defensive guy. Let's not sit here and act like he played great defense. We didn't look to him or turn in for defense. So I'm asking, is DiVincenzo, was he that good of a defender? That's where the drop off is at?
He helped platoon all that, but you forgetting what's his name? Cat has to play the center for the first 4 months of the season. I don't see that being this for 40 minutes of a game, 35 minutes of a game. I don't see that happening. It's a lot.
But Cat flourished at center. When he played his best basketball of his career was at the center position with Tibbs as the head coach. He was a center.
When was that? And what year was that when he was playing the best basketball of his career? The best basketball of his career has not been the last 3 years?
Cat?
At all. Best basketball's under Tibbs, like a second.
No, I don't think the best basketball we've seen Cat play is the last 3 years. I think Cat struggled with injuries. I think Cat tried to figure out how he's going to play next to Gobert last year. I mean, it worked out against Denver, but like I think like we're gonna struggle. Me personally, I think defensively. I think we have to find our defensive identity again. And so that's why I got us as a top 3 team right now. I just think that with some things that we're going to have to figure out on, you know, how we defend and how we approach teams defensively. When you have that anchor of a guy that is strictly about cleaning the glass and playing defense and Mitchell Robinson, you don't have that. You have to ask Cat to do some things that he hasn't been accustomed to doing. So how long is that going to take for him to get rolling? We have to start Josh Hart now, y'all. Like we can't go away from starting Josh Hart at the 2. He's our best rebounder on the team. Let me give that to y'all again. He's our best rebounder on the team. We have to start him. So it's just like you said, Fabian, the team is a little different. I don't care how anybody slices it. Julius and Dante are gone, but things look different. Guys' roles are different. It's just going to be different. We could say, oh, those are only 2 guys, but the rotation is going to be different. Who we rely on is going to be different. What we got asked guys to do is going to be different. We're going to rely heavily on Cat. You seem like you trust Cat a lot, OG.
Right. And just to finish with that, we had iHeart, Precious, and OG rotating on Embiid last season. We don't have no defensive rotation right now. It's Sims.
What the fuck? We don't need offensive rebounds if we hit shots. What is that? I'm sorry, y'all.
Listen. I think
we got it. You need a guy that's going to clean the glass. If we don't rebound, we're not going to win games. It's just the bottom.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I mean before we get our pennies in a bunch. How long is Mitchell Robinson going to be out?
I was going to ask that.
Until December.
It's not that I'm high on Cat. I'm just saying at the end of the day, last year we had a lot of injuries and we, figured out a way to deal with it. We added Bridges, so we have guys that can defend. So for us to have Bridges and OG, Josh Hart, like I said, I think we're going to be fine. I'm just saying for me, I get Flea what you're saying. We have to figure things out. Fabian, you said that also. Okay, I agree with that. But to say we're going to have a major drop-off with defense, like I said, we knew all offseason Mitchell Robinson was going to be hurt. We basically traded Cat for Julius Randle. No disrespect to DiVincenzo, whom, I wish we could have kept. But he's not going to be the reason we fall off defensively. I'm sorry. I'm not going for that.
It's not just him, though. It's the fact that it's him by himself. You know what I'm saying? You got a platoon that shit. It's going to be tough for him, bro. And rebound. He's playing in drop coverage, right, Flea? He has to play in drop coverage now with Tibbs.
Yo, I'm fiending to grab this bait right now about.
Yeah, I know. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do not do it.
That is like I want to grab. That is so awful. But go ahead. Go ahead.
That he wants to shout out your FYF. You want to shout out FYF? You feel lonely over there?
I think you have to go to work. We only got 2 teams
I
left.
do. We got 1 team left.
Shout out.
That's
He's
so
dead wrong.
awful. That's
Listen, let's not.
It's not even true.
So let me just say this. I got the Knicks finishing second. I think you guys have all made good points. My thing is this. I don't know if they're going to go drop coverage, Fabian, because Cat can't protect the rim very well. And you guys have a lot, outside of Brunson, a lot of length on the wings there. Josh Hart, OG, and Bridges can really cover ground. OG can be like a good, what do they call that? Like low block help. Like if Cat gets pulled out of the paint, he can rotate by the basket and make some plays on the ball. And then you also have Deuce McBride coming off the bench that can really defend. I think that the main key for the Knicks is going to be for that before Mitchell Robinson comes back is lean into your wing defense, like lean into the point of attack defense, keeping the ball in front. So then Cat doesn't have to do too much. Because like, for example, with the Clippers, we'll talk about them in the West preview. Zubats has to overcompensate a lot for our lack of point of attack defense. You guys have that in abundance. So the weak links are the 2 best offensive players in that starting lineup, Brunson and Cat. But we also have to talk about how much better the offense might look because of Cat. He's going to be a pick and pop big that's going to open up the paint. It's going to be so hard to guard those pick and rolls with Brunson and Cat popping out, man. Like you're going to have to blitz. It
already looked crazy yesterday. That's why I was, as far as the drop coverage goes, they started that yesterday. They tried it out yesterday with that, Dom, as far as the defensive end. Yesterday, it looked amazing. Brunson brought the ball up. He forgot Cat was even on the team and just handed it off, chucked it to him, and cashed out a 3 from like, I don't even know where. That was crazy to watch, and that was easy work.
Yeah, Brunson is already a drop coverage killer. Now you have a shooting big. So if teams run drop against the Knicks, they're going to be in trouble. So I love the toughness of this team. I think you still have
5 and out. The 5 and out lineups look crazy, even though Cat looks like a doofus out there trying to dribble through the paint as usual. But I'll take it. I
still have my problems with Cat. I mean, I'm not here. We're not talking. Go ahead.
Y'all are going to be frustrated mid-season when we haven't seen Cat catch a post up 1 time in 3 months. Niggas are gonna be mad, and it's gonna be all right. And I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, Cat is more talented than Patrick Ewing ever was. That's why he'll never catch posts. Like that's like, y'all are gonna be mad. I'm telling y'all.
For those wondering, I'm gonna post this episode on audio. So for those wondering, Flea's responding to a comment that someone's making disrespecting the great Patrick Ewing. But I'll just say this about Cat: the offense is gonna look good. Great. I've got my problems with Cat, but we're not talking about the playoffs. We're just talking about the regular season. I think the Knicks will be great. I also think that when Mitchell Robinson comes back, I think Cat's going to be played at the 4, and you're going to have the size out there, Cat at the 4, Robinson at the 5, and then Brunson, Bridges, and OG, and then you're going to bring Hart off the bench.
Please. Yes, validation number 1. They're trying to follow the Celtics blueprint. That's what I don't like about it the most. Now the Knicks fan is coming out. That's what I hate about this the most, Don. We do not have to be like the Celtics. We should have been more like us, which is why I'm bigging up Orlando. I'm giving Orlando all the props in the world for tripling down on their defensive-minded team. And we didn't do that. We went and got mad finesse and soft. I don't care what anybody says.
Just
that's
because
number
of
1.
Cat?
Don,
Bridges, I wouldn't call Bridges soft.
But
listen, I'm not talking about Bridges. Hold on real quick, Flea. The front line, the front court is Mitchell Robinson, Cat, and OG Anunoby, and we're gonna go to sleep every night safe and sound, not worried about an injury alert in the morning. That is a lie. I'm gonna be terrified every single morning with an alarm clock ringing. Don gonna call me, Flea gonna call me. Oh, the whole front line got injured. Thanks, Dolan.
So but you had the same reservations coming out of the playoffs on a guy that we couldn't pay, which you wished we could pay, is iHeart. You felt he was a defensive liability in the playoffs.
Okay.
We lose him.
That's the hold on. A defensive liability and an injury liability are 2 different things.
But you started your rant on saying that we got softer and we're not as tough defensively. Right. And what I'm saying is you had reservations about iHeart already being able to guard his position.
No, I have reservations. He cannot guard Embiid. Okay, that's not a reservation. That is you can't. But we had Ochoa and OG to rotate with. That's my thing. Like, again, that's the CBA deal. We can't cry with spilled milk. It is what it is. But I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we went away from our identity. And clearly the league felt
but how much? But one player, and I think that was my point earlier. I don't think one player should or even be allowed to change the culture that we've laid over the last few years. It's the player that we need to help us get over that hump because we missing that type. But I don't think who he is should come into the locker room and now we're looking at the team like we're all, the entire team is soft. That don't even make sense.
No, but you have to because he's a finesse type player who's commanding $50 million. He commands that much of a presence on the court, but his style of play is just straight finesse. He's not Julius Randle. Randle's trying to go to the paint, the drive and kick shit, transition. Like we totally forget in transition. Cat is not Julius Randle in transition.
No,
as much as everybody
Meaning
wants to
what?
say that.
Meaning what?
Once he gets a rebound, he's going down court and he's flushing it on you or getting an and one. That's not Cat's game.
Randle pushes the ball like really well.
Yes.
Pretty well, I think.
We're missing all those easy baskets. And
So the most skilled big man ever, Karl Anthony Towns, can't put the ball on the floor and push it? This is what we're saying?
Not like Randle.
Like, what are we talking about?
But I think, Fabian, you guys needed some offensive help, though. And that's what Cat is there for. Because it was really just Brunson doing everything. I know what's his name was injured in the playoffs. Who was injured? Randle. So then you're going to have another guy that can maybe create a little bit. We'll see if teams switch what Cat does to punish.
They can't be done making moves. That's my bottom line.
I just think, obviously, to y'all point, and big shout out to our OG Fish, just to what he said. I don't think Cat has that much of, you know, what Fabian always says, that much of a polarizing personality or game to come into the locker room and change the foundation that we've laid. I just think we could turn around, like I said, mid-season. Now we start looking at everything. We could come mid-season and, Cat the toughest motherfucker I ever seen. I didn't know that he had that in him. That could be it could be very different. I'm just saying.
And before we move, Flea will agree with this. The reason why we even have him top 3, top 2 is the bench. That's where we have the advantage over Boston, bar none, and the Magic as well. So we can compete with everybody in the league because of our bench. Even though we gave Minnesota an upgrade at the bench as well.
Is it that bench going to be great though before Robinson returns? You just have what?
Hell yeah,
Bruce McBride. I mean,
yes.
who else is there?
The rookie looks amazing.
The rookie
he's looking like a lefty baby Mark Price out there is what he looks like. But down drop, we calling it right now, baby Nash. What we doing? Tycho, Dom. Get used to it. We dubbed it first. Tycho. Anybody else says it? Let us know. We suing them.
Okay. Now the last team, of course, the defending champions. Here's who has them first. Me, Flea, and Fabian. AllBall has them third. Now, I don't mind you having the Knicks over the Celtics. My question for you is, how the hell do you have the Sixers above the Celtics in the regular season?
So, sorry, two technical difficulties. My apologies, my brothers. So for one, Porzingis, I think he's out for the first 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he?
So,
6 months?
I think so.
He stays out to the trade deadline, to the All-Star break now.
Wow.
Okay, so then I may be exaggerating.
No, you're not. You're on point.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Exactly. So
that's a long time.
Right. You have that. So now, another year, we're expecting Al Horford. So when we talk about a drop off on defense and rebounding, is yo, y'all stupid, man. So that's what I'm saying.
I got proof for what Al's gonna bring me. I have proof.
I'm not high on Boston. Like I said, with Porzingis being hurt, Al Horford, another year under his belt, getting older. So now that's who's going to be the guy holding down the ship as far as defensive with the big men and rebounding. Miss me with that. Yeah, I have Boston Celtics third behind Philly because, like I said, if we're talking regular season and if everybody can stay healthy, if I'm looking at the rosters, I like Philly's roster better than Boston. So, yes, I have Boston at the number 3 spot, and I'm giving them the 3rd spot out of respect for they just won the championship. But, yeah, I think they're dealing with too many injuries. And, you know,
one injury. And the Jays are pretty healthy guys.
Okay. We're going to see.
Yeah, indeed. So anything else about Boston, guys? I mean, I think they're clearly the team to beat right now, not just in the conference, but in the entire league. Regardless of if they have Porzingis or not, they still essentially won the championship without Porzingis. Besides that game 1 against the Mavs almost every game of the playoffs. I think maybe one of the games against the Cavs too in the beginning. They basically won the championship without him. So to me, they're still the best team in the league. And Tatum and Brown, how much better are they going to get with that championship confidence? Because they have not peaked yet to me. Jason Tatum is literally my age. I'm 26.
Right.
He's turning 27 this year. So he's going to be approaching his prime the next couple of years. Jaylen Brown probably just starting his prime. How much confidence has he gained after getting over the hump? He debunked all the criticism, the left hand, getting to the basket. He was fantastic last year. He was really great. So do we have anything on Boston besides that? You guys all have them number one just like me?
They're in win now mode. This year, next season, they signed everybody the core four for 4 years. So I don't know how much trade room they have. When Al Horford goes or whatever it is, but they're in win now, so they got to win this year. I think they're also, they're motivated to do so. So, what you think, Flea?
Nah, this is the first time in years that I see a team that could potentially repeat. I haven't seen over the last 5-6 years a team that won a championship, came in the next season. I was like, yeah, they got a chance to win again. This is the first time I feel like this team has a chance to win again. Obviously, we're hard pressed to see two guys come off great seasons, right? Coming into the season with an attitude. These two cats are going to come into the season with attitudes. Jaylen Brown coming in with an attitude. Jason Tatum coming in with an attitude, but they just won a championship, right? So, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and Jason Tatum has a little extra motivation despite winning the championship. That he had a lot of criticism, and especially in the summer. So he might even have a point to prove even after winning.
And that's what I'm saying, Dom. I just think those two guys, we've seen really good basketball from them over their careers. I think coming into this year, we might look at them like, oh shit, these guys are unstoppable, right? These guys are at the top of their games now. So, and I think Joe Mazzulla is just proving more and more that he's a really good coach.
Flea, you came in last year.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Go ahead.
We can't. I don't want to overlook this before we get going. You said Denver didn't get better from the season before.
Mm-hmm.
They
Celtics
didn't add.
Right.
What did they add to really maintain their spot or get better, or do they? Do they have to?
Good point.
A chip. If I got to answer the question,
The Denver Nuggets added the chip last year.
No. I added a chip on their shoulder. Like they're going into this with something to prove, right? So if I have to answer the question, no. Tangibly, no, they didn't add anything to the roster. So, like you said, I appreciate you calling me out on that because that's exactly how I look at these things. But for Boston, I just think that what they've done, they've re-signed all their guys, right? So they didn't lose anything. They didn't add anything. But Denver lost Bruce Brown. They lost KCP, right? So that's when I'm like, they didn't add anything, but they also didn't lose key pieces. So I do have them being one of the teams I think they could repeat.
And technically, Kristaps Porzingis, if he's healthy in the playoffs, that kind of is like adding.
Right.
And
especially if you go through a season without having him.
Right. So my last point about the Celtics is also sleeper for sixth man of the year this year. I think Peyton Pritchard might actually have a really good year. I don't know what it is, but
get the fuck out of here, Dom.
Get him the fuck out of here, Dom.
Shut Nas Reed, Dante DiVincenzo.
I'm just saying he might be in the conversation because they don't have a very good bench. And he is a bucket that's getting more confident.
Yo, no, we got to kill Don right now. Fuck Peyton. Get him the fuck out
of here.
Peyton Pritchard, my boy was at his wedding. That's how we got the clip of Blake Griffin addressing me at the wedding. So.
Peyton Pritchard.
That's fire. That's
congrats, congrats, Peyton Pritchard. You got the ring, 2 rings in the offseason. Congrats to you, but you ain't getting no damn 6 man of the year trophy.
I just think he'll be good. He'll be very good. He'll be getting better, I should say. But anyway.
I'm never congratulating the Boston Celtics for nothing.
This is the.
I don't care if you won the ring. I don't care that you got married. I don't care. The Knicks, I have them at number 1, Dom. I had technical difficulties. You will not stop this greatness.
That's hate.
So there you go.
Knicks will be the number 1 seed. Me and Kendrick Perkins, the only one on planet Earth who believes that.
The all balls list to close it out. If you're not looking, it's number 1 New York, number 2 Philly, 3 Boston, 4 Milwaukee, 5 Indiana, 6 Cleveland, 7 Orlando, 8 Toronto, Miami 9, Chicago 10, 11 Brooklyn, 12 Detroit, 13 Washington, 14 Atlanta, and 15 Charlotte. That is the all ball list. For those that are watching on YouTube, it is scrolling on the screen for everybody. Fabian, any concluding thoughts about your list?
I'm thinking about moving to Orlando #1, man. I got to put some
Oh my
thought into
Yo,
this.
take us home. Take us
Are
home.
you serious? Come on, man.
I knew he was going to do that.
I think you should keep it where it's at. Boston 1, Orlando 2, Knicks 3rd, Philly 4th, Pacers 5th, Cavs 6th, Bucks 7th, Heat 8th, then some trash below that.
Take us home, Peyton Pritchard.
Horrendous.
That's Dom God, so I ain't gonna go crazy. Get us out of here, man, before I say something to get us banned.
Flea, any last words on your list?
I might have to revisit the Milwaukee pick. I don't know if I'm too confident in that right now, but we'll revisit.
All right. And then as my list, Boston 1st, New York 2nd, Milwaukee 3rd, Philly 4th. And then we got Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana, and Miami in that order. Everybody else below that is garbage. My concluding thoughts on the East, guys, is that this conference at the bottom is pretty trash compared to the last couple of years. I think the first seven teams are very solid, but then it gets garbage. So I think the Spurs would make the play in the East, quite frankly, at this point. But hey,
what?
I think the Spurs would make the East play-in, I swear, this year. Is that a hot take?
The West playing?
No, I think if they were in the East, they would make the East play-in because the teams are that bad at the bottom.
They'd be right there with them bad teams at the bottom.
First of all,
Okay,
you know what?
Hey, well,
The Spurs might make. How about the Spurs might make the West play-in and your Clippers might be out of there? The hell are you talking about, Don?
First, we congratulate Peyton Pritchard for being married. Now we talk about the Spurs and bum-ass Popovich make the playoffs in the West. The East. Get out of here, man.
Clearly, there's a lot of strong feelings about this. If you want to hear more from the 4 Sportsmen, the Western Conference preview will be coming within the next week, I would believe. We're going to try to make it work. All the teams that we talked about are going to be time-stamped in the comment section. So please check that out. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Dime Dropper channel for all things NBA, especially with an LA focus, and then AllBall TV channel for all things NBA with a New York focus. Appreciate everybody. Any last words, Fabian?
Dime Dropper. You know who this is to my left.
Big Flea. Never the little one.
Never the little one. You know who I am.
Peyton Pritchard is not personal. It's only because you're a Boston Celtics. I hope you get divorced.
You know.
Suckers. Knicks for life. That's what we hear.
Dime Dropper. Great job, fellas.
Now, if he don't stay in Boston, then I hope your marriage.
Yo, that's
but
bad work.
As long as you're a Celtic,
that's bad
I can
work.
give a damn about your marriage. Fabian, don't never do that again. We New York over here.
What
we'll celebrate nothing, Boston.
Nothing. Get divorced. That's nasty. Oh, that's nasty.
This is what hate looks like. Get a close up.
Look.
AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.